Well, I got these. These are way better than Goobers.
If the shoe fits.
Goobers got raisins and chocolate, aren't they?
No, it's just peanuts.
I was thinking of
Oh, those are good. Then. Those are really good.
I haven't seen you much of me.
I'm doing very well.
And I was gonna call you.
Oh, I did see you. Yeah.
Oh, do you? You guys go.
Good.
Good.
Hi, everybody.
I understand. But she doesn't want to
Hey,
go.
Tommy.
Hey, how are
Sweetie.
you?
Good, honey. How are you doing?
good.
Nice to see you. You've been missed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
I missed you.
Cool. Man, I've been around now.
Then I'll take her to the 5:30 with me. Or the nooner. The nooner. She can get up. Not at 6:30 in the morning. Oh, no.
Jelly
Oh, my
belly.
house is 6:30 in the morning unless you're
What?
dying.
Jelly belly.
Oh, I wish these were Jelly Bellies, but no, these are
Unless you want to.
Ike, Mike and Ike.
haven't drank yet.
Never heard of it.
Then I'll get out of the.
Neither have I, but I tried them last time I went to the store, and man, these are really good.
I like the green
Those are my favorite too. Lime.
wine, yeah.
I never eat. Never.
But you mix them all up, they're really good too.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But you know, they've got one jelly bean with the flavor of bark.
Hi.
They have one called Barf.
It tastes exactly like bark.
Ooh, yuck.
I have friends
That's a Jelly Belly.
That's
I
a
have
jelly
family
belly.
up north.
Cotton candy is one of my favorite ones.
Same here. I can't take it. Too much sugar.
I have Boston.
You diabetic?
One sugar cotton candy. I got diabetes.
But they're really good.
But I have family.
I gotta watch how much
I have
sugar
family
intake
in Vermont,
I
I
can
have
take.
family in New Hampshire. And I have
Yeah, I'm not diabetic yet.
I became diabetic from the medication that
Yeah, my
VA gave
ex-husband
me.
was talking to my brother.
What kind of medication?
He was telling him
Psych
as he
med.
was setting his
Psych med? Like, I'm on
down the hill.
Yeah,
to
I've heard
Is that what?
Yeah, Zyprexa.
Oh,
Diabetes. Read
oh, really?
closely about the side effects. At least half of them you can get
He was going to get
diabetes
back
from.
up the hill.
It's rare, but it does.
I take Depakote.
He wasn't
I
very
got Depakote at home, and I won't touch it because of the side
I guess if
effects.
you get to the bottom of
What?
it.
Shrink in the VA, tell them what's happening.
Or crawl up.
Here, you need a pill.
Thank you.
What happens when you take Depakote?
No,
I don't know. I never took it, but I have it in the house.
Nah. Not
Alright.
as much I
He
know.
gave me. Listen, if
His house is caught every
if you want the Depakote, I'll give it to you,
About 9 o'clock.
That's illegal, but okay.
and I'll keep ordering it from the VA for nothing.
Great. Okay.
Go to bed after something from his mom.
What do you want? What do you want for them?
I haven't decided. I don't even know.
What?
How much they cost?
Oh, you want money for it?
No. But
I got other stuff for they're
Told you.
anti-anxiety.
okay, what are they called?
Klonopin.
Huh?
Klonopin. 0.5.
It's a good high.
Well,
I don't take a Klonopin.
you're not supposed to take them to get high.
Yeah, but people do.
People do. I didn't know that. I was taking them for 2 years, and they said, "I'll take them." I'm like, "Why?" And I didn't
It
know.
was making me feel good. That's exactly.
They do the job. They do the job for me.
Like, I took Gizerol for 3 months. I had to quit because it was
Major.
keeping me high, but not a high that
Back, way back.
It was
I liked.
Oh yeah.
Couldn't live with it. So I stopped it after 3 months. I was a walking
Zombie.
No, not yet. Not yet. I started taking others. Matter of fact, it wasn't off the market. Psychiatrists at the VA, the hospital, were giving me Quaalude.
Really? Lemons?
Yeah, even lemons.
Really?
500 milligrams a tablet.
You still got them?
Nope.
You ate them.
Hmm?
You ate them.
Must be
No.
like a protein.
They became illegal before we could prescribe it to me.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't heard nothing about it. Hey, Mike, Steve, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Got your name today. Things are good. Having a great day today. Hey, Brian. Good to see you.
Hi, Brian. Good, how are you?
Hey, Brian.
What's part of this, Brian?
Hi, Brian.
I've been taking psych meds for over 20 years.
Oh, yeah? Was you in the war or something?
Yeah, I developed paranoid schizophrenia.
Wait,
Last 2 or 3 years, I was in the Navy.
You're in what?
system.
Paranoid schizophrenia.
Yeah, but you were where?
Helps.
In the Navy in Key West.
While you had schizophrenia?
Yeah, the shrink gave me Haldol.
Increases your
After 6 months, I stopped it because I was changing. My vision was changing on me. I couldn't even see out of my own glasses.
Oh, really?
I had to get new. In 6 months, I had 3 pairs of glasses.
Yeah, well, that's what my MS is doing to me. It's changing my eyesight. But if I go back, if I get a new prescription, my eyes will go back to the old, and doctor says, stick with the ones I got and it'll be okay. And like it is today, it's okay today.
I hope you don't develop blindness.
I know, I'm taking Copaxone shots every morning.
Hello everybody and welcome to the bottom line. We ask that you silence your cell phones at this time and please refrain from cursing when you share. This is a closed meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous. Board of AA Signatures Purpose. Attendance at closed meetings is limited to persons who have a desire to stop drinking. If you think you have a problem with alcohol, you are welcome to attend this meeting. We ask that when discussing our problems, we confine ourselves to those problems as they relate to alcoholism. For those who care, please join me in a moment of silence followed by the serenity prayer.
God, grant me the serenity to accept things I cannot change, the courage to change things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Wow, great. Hello everybody, I'm an alcoholic and my name is Eddie Vega.
Eddie,
We would like to welcome anybody here for the first AA meeting, visiting from out of town, coming back, or here for the first time at the bottom line. Not to embarrass you, but would you please introduce yourself? Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength, and hope with each other as they may solve their common problems and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organization, or institution. It does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And I ask someone to read more about alcoholism.
Read alcoholic.
Hey, wait.
More about alcoholism. Most of us have been unwilling to admit we were real alcoholics. No person likes to think he is bodily and mentally different from his fellows. Therefore, it is not surprising that our drinking careers have been characterized by countless vain attempts to prove we could drink like other people. The idea that somehow, someday, he will control and enjoy his drinking is the great obsession of every abnormal drinker. Persistence of this illusion is astonishing. Many pursue it to the gates of insanity or death. We learned that we had to fully concede to our innermost selves that we were alcoholics. This is the first step in recovery. The delusion that we are like other people or presently maybe has to be smashed. We alcoholics are men and women who have lost the ability to control our drinking. We know that no real alcoholic ever recovers control. All of us felt at times that we were regaining control, but such intervals, usually brief, were immediately followed by still less control, which led in time to pitiful and incomprehensible. We are convinced to a man that alcoholics in our times were the grip of progressive illness. For any considerable period, we get worse and never better. We're like men who have lost their legs and broken their physicians who are familiar with alcoholism agree there is no such thing as making a normal drinker out of an alcoholic. Science may one day accomplish this, but have
Thank you. And, Ms. Kim, will you read the traditions first?
I'll be happy to.
Thank you.
12 traditions. 1. Humble welfare should come first. Personal recovery depends upon AAUT. 2. For a good purpose, there is but one ultimate authority. A loving God is he may express himself in a good conscience. On a religious God express his servants, they do not govern. 3. The only requirement for AA membership is a desire to stop drinking. 4. Each group should be a common concept in matters affecting other groups or AA as a whole. 5. Each group has but one primary purpose, to carry its message to the alcoholic use of substances. 6. An AA group ought never endorse finance for a lend to the AA name to any related facility or outside enterprise, lest problems of money, property, or prestige divert us from our primary purpose. 7. Every AA group ought to be fully self-supporting, declining outside contributions. 8. Alcoholics Anonymous should remain forever non-professional, but our service centers may employ special workers. 9. AA as such ought never be organized, but we may create service boards or committees directly responsible to those they serve. 10. Alcoholics Anonymous has no opinion on outside issues, hence the AA name ought never be drawn into public controversy. 11. Our public relations motion. We need always connecting personal anonymity at the level of print, radio, and film. And 12. Anonymity connecting the ministry, foundation of all worship, traditions, ever reminding us to
Great principle before personality.
Thank you. And we're passing the basket in the spirit of our tradition between the AA group supporting the outside contribution. And I ask someone to read the secretary's report.
Giorgio.
I gave it a compliment.
Hey, Giorgio.
Welcome to the Bottom Line Group, especially newcomers. You are the most important person in this room. If you'd like to become a member of this group, please write your name in the white book on the desk. They need to vote issues concerning this group at the next business meeting held on the first Sunday of every month at 6:45 p.m. Anniversaries are held on the last Sunday of every month at 7 p.m. If you are celebrating a year or multiple thereof, you can write your name on the blackboard and we will celebrate with you. Visitors are also welcome to celebrate with us. Books are for sale at cost and pamphlets are free. Please pay meetings chairperson. Service is important. You can get involved by being a greeter, cleaning up after the meeting, or coming to the weekly cleaning held every Sunday at 1 p.m. Is there anyone willing to be a temporary sponsor? Please raise your hand and keep it up. If you need a sponsor, these are the people you should get with after the meeting. There's a list of temporary sponsors on the activities board in the back of the room. The Bottom Line Group asks, 1, that you do not congregate in front of the building. We have a lovely area back to congregate. 2, please refrain from parking in the front line spaces during business hours approximately 7:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. 3, in keeping with group conscious, recordings of any kind are not permitted. Are there any announcements for the good of Alcoholics Anonymous?
There's a chili cook-off.
Hello, my name is Donna, I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, Donna.
On February 16th, which is this Saturday, is our chili cook-off. It starts at noon time with the meeting, followed by the cook-off at 1:30. If you enter the cook-off, you can come free. If you want to come, I have tickets in advance, $2 now, $4 at the door. If you'd like to bring a finger food or anything, you're more than welcome. And then we're going to play Pictionary afterward for a fun afternoon. April 7th, we're having our annual picnic. Tickets in advance, I have $5 now, $8 at the door. There's a flyer on the bulletin board, tells you everything about it. Thank you.
Thanks, Donna. Anybody else? Do any of you need to share anything that may cause you to drink then? Before we start. This is a Came to Believe meeting, and I was just asked a few minutes ago would I share it, and I said yes. So I opened the book, and here's where it landed. And it says, I wasn't alone anymore. I was in and around the fellowship for 3 years. Sometimes staying sober, sometimes cheating. Myself, of course. A little or a lot. I loved AA. Shook hands with everyone at every door at all meetings. I attended, and they were many. I was a sort of AA hostess. Unfortunately, I still had a lot of trouble with me. One member of my group used to say, if you would just take the third step, he might as well have been talking Dutch. I couldn't understand. Although I had been an honor student at Sunday school, I had gotten far away from anything spiritual. At one point, I did manage to stay physically sober for 6 months. Then I lost my job, and at 54 was sure I would never get another. Very frightened and depressed, I just couldn't face the future. And my stupid pride wouldn't allow me to ask anyone for help. So I went to the liquor store for my crutch. In the next three and a half months, I died 100 times. I still attended a lot of meetings when I could, but I didn't tell anybody of my trouble. The other members learned to leave me alone because they felt helpless, and I understand now how they felt. One morning I woke up with a decision to stay in bed all day. That way I couldn't get drunk. I couldn't get a drink. I kept that decision, and when I got up at 6, I felt secure as the liquor stores closed at that hour. That night I was desperately ill. I should have been in the hospital. About 7 o'clock, I started to phone everyone I think of, in and out of AA. But no one could or would come to my aid. As the last effort, I phoned a blind man. I had worked and cooked for him for several years, and I asked him whether I could take a taxi and come to his apartment. I knew I was going to die, and I told him, and I was afraid. He said, die and be damned. I don't want you here. He told me later that he could have cut his tongue out and thought of calling back. Thank God he didn't. I went to bed sure that I would never get up again. My thinking had never been clearer. I couldn't really see any way out. By 3 o'clock in the morning, I still hadn't slept. I was propped up with pillows, and my heart was pounding almost out of my chest. My limbs started turning numb. First my legs above my knees, then my arms above my elbows. I thought, this is it. I turned to the one source that had been too smart as I saw it, or too stupid to appear too early. I cried out, please God, don't let me die like this. My tormented heart and soul were in those few words. Almost instantly, the numbness started going away. I felt the presence in the room. I wasn't alone anymore. God be praised. I have never felt alone since. I have never had another drink. Better still, have never needed one. It was a long way back to health, and it was quite a while before people had confidence in me. But that didn't really matter. I knew I was sober, and somehow I knew that as long as I lived the way I believed in God wanted me to live, I never need to feel fear again. Recently I was told that I am I had a malignant tumor. Instead of being afraid or depressed, I thank God for the past 16 years of borrowed time He had given me. The tumor was removed. I feel fine and I'm enjoying every minute of every day. There will be many more days, I believe, as long as God has work for me to do. I will remain here. Go back.
Great story.
I'm going to process that, so the floor is open.
I'm Kim, I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic.
Hey, Kim.
I love that story. It touches my heart because, you know, who's to say if he hadn't have gave himself over to God and reached out and asked him for help, you know, he would have went back out drinking and he wouldn't have been able to stay sober. And who's to say that malignant tumor would have would have never been able to come out. You know, he would have drunk himself in such a stoop to where he would never went to the hospital and done anything of it. You know, so these are the promises we have when we, you know, have this contact with the higher power and surrender everything. I know when I was out there in my drinking, you know, my thinking's so messed up. I was raised to that pride was okay. You know, and I guess a little bit of pride is good, but too much pride is one of the 7 deadly sins, you know. And but you know, my brother is also now. He's got him a bar, okay, up in Indiana. And when I go up there to see him, I'll get up early in the morning and go into the bar because I have this contact, this relationship with my higher power, and I haven't picked up a drink in many days. So I'm okay to go into the bar and have coffee and talk to him, you know. But I can't push this AA on him. He still sits there and says, I am a self-made man. You know, and I used to say that. I've done this, I've raised my kids on my own, I've done this, I had that. And, you know, it was only by God's grace. You know, and it's only by God's grace that I'm in these rooms. Because my mother told me for many years, me and my brother are just like our pops, and we're going to die now. You know? But thank God, this alcoholic doesn't have to pick up a drink. And with this thinking of mine, I can keep it under check with my higher power and surrender every morning, even though I still get, you know, I fall short daily. You know, I ask God every morning, pray and put my feet on the ground. You know, your will be done, not mine. The minute my feet hit that ground, I'm trying to take it back. You know? But I'm aware of it, and with these steps, I can, you know, especially after I do 3, I immediately go to 10, you know, because I've done 4, but when I come back and I have to each day take a moral inventory of myself, you know, because when my kids are the ones that can really get my buttons pushed, you know, I can go outside these doors and deal with life with these kids of mine, you know, because I am their parent. But I can't change them. I can only live by an example. And only thanks to these rooms is what made me realize. Now, I still fall short. I have to bite. Sometimes I can't bite my tongue. But I realize it after I go off where I fall short. But I know now, what's my part in this? Well, my part is fear. I'm afraid that they're not going to get it, you know. But I can't change them. I can only change my way and my perspective of things, you know, and live by example. And I just thank God for His grace in this relationship with my God. Because without it, that story just gives me goosebumps, you know. Because, you know, I don't think the man would have made it, those, you know, the extra 16 years if he'd stayed drinking. He probably would have died within a couple of years. Because this disease is baffling. It wants us dead, you know. I mean, many times I can walk into a restaurant and I see somebody, you know, they'll be serving wine or something, and their glasses, they've got half a glass of wine left. How dare them? You know, there was a time I wouldn't get up out of my table until everybody's drink is drunk, and I'd be one drinker, you know. So you don't want to leave that, let me have it, you know. But thank God, I can walk away and think, you know, I don't have to pick that up. That's what I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Kim.
Thanks, Kim.
Thanks, Kim.
My name's Tom Alcoholic.
Hi, Tom.
I was 21 years sober and developed multiple sclerosis during this meeting. Well, I mean, I don't remember what, it was in the morning. And I knew it was just like a drunk. Because MS attacks your brain, same place as alcohol does, but the scar doesn't go away. And I knew I hadn't been drinking, so I was seeing a shrink that day. And everything worked out the way God wanted. I mean, everything. God gave me MS to help other MS people. And I'm really good at it, too. Because I use the 12 steps. And, but there were several times I should have been dead. Because if I'd been drinking. Like the MS, I thought I was just a drunk. Like a God-given drunk. So, it came from the night before or something. But I knew I hadn't been. And I had all the symptoms of a drunk. But I hadn't been drinking. I don't know what else to say. I mean, that's what MS is. It screws up the way I talk, and I slur my words, and I lose my balance a lot. I fall down a lot. But, as long as I keep coming to AA, it's not that bad. I'm learning to deal with it. I'm not falling down as much. And the doctor doesn't know why, because I have this huge scar over my brainstem. But I know why. But the doctor doesn't know why. So it's a miracle. They happen every day if people really want them. I'll pass.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
I'm Jim, alcoholic,
Hey, Jim.
and listening to that story took me back to that day that that choice came. Either I was gonna take a step in the right direction, or I was gonna keep doing the wrong thing. And I can remember it like it happened 5 minutes ago. I remember walking, getting in the shower and everything like that, and I knew I needed help. And I walked down to the end of the street that I live on now, and it was early in the morning, and I was standing on Federal Highway, and as I'm standing there, it decides to come down in buckets, and I could see my house down the street, but I knew at that moment that if I didn't take the step in the right direction, I was not going to ever do this. And that's, I had nowhere else to go. I remember standing there, and I remember the bus pulling up, and it was an old guy, his old man Joe. He drove the bus for many years, and he was the first person that I was honest with, that I had a major problem, a drug and alcohol problem. And just saying it out loud to him, and that made me feel just a little bit better than I did at that moment, because I was terrified, and I was sick, and I was wired out of my mind. And I knew if I went back home, I wasn't going to come back out to that road. That was the start of my recovery. That same day, I came to the bottom line for the first time, and I picked up a white shirt. But that was the feeling that I felt, like it was described in that, something happened, something good started to happen, but I couldn't see it at that time. I went and asked a friend for help, who I knew was in this program, and he was a guy that I only talked to him once about my problem, and he never judged me or anything like that. He just told me there was a different way. And I can still picture him in my mind. And he helped me get here. A guy named John Lofton from New York, and I haven't seen him in a long time. But he helped me get here. But I remember standing on that corner, knowing that if I didn't take that step of, I got a choice, and I got to take a chance, and that I would never get clean. And that's what that story made me go back to, that day standing on that corner. That's all I got.
Thanks.
I'm Melissa, alcoholic.
Hey, Melissa.
And I thanks Eddie, because I just love the meetings, and I love You know, I love AA so much, but, you know, I found peace today, and I found that freedom that I've so constantly searched for. You know, I was so messed up in my life for so many years, and I just didn't understand, you know, why me, and I was vicious, and part of it I didn't understand because I was a girl and I was vicious inside me. And if you ever see a soprano, the soprano men, I'm half Sicilian. Not half, I'm a little quarter Sicilian. And I had a really tough as nails grandfather and a tough as nails father, but they were on the really good side of life. My grandfather was a state police officer in Philadelphia police, and my dad, but they were tough as nails, and I had this tough as nails inside me as a little girl, and I couldn't help who I was, and I was in turmoil, you know, and it came out in purging, and it came out in my drinking, and you know, I didn't know how to deal with it. I struck my mom, and I hit my sister. And, you know, and I became a victim. I got beat, my ass got beat. And at that point in time, I surrendered, you know. And it's amazing, that cycle of life. You know, God works in absolutely beautiful ways. And I have come to understand the gifts. I have to stay vigilant, and I had to turn everything over to God. I got bits and pieces throughout my life, and I walk. And the beautiful blessings of AA, you know, when I listen, my eyes and ears are so open to hear the wisdom and the insight of so many people. God speaks through people. But I also listen when I practice. When I practice walking, I meditate. When I practice, I listen to the animal kingdom. They live for another day. Animals live to eat. They live to fight. It's for survival of the fittest in the animal kingdom. Today in AA, it is the survival of the fittest. It's those that have that reprieve, that do that meditation, have that closeness with God, that we absolutely desperately dire need to be close to God. And it is who I listen to and pay attention, have that insight and wisdom that I need. I need to stay vigilant. I need to stay disciplined. I need to stay in that good side of life. Because Satan, whatever your sin, missed the mark, and try again, whatever you believe, it's out there. Your good karma, whatever you project, you reap yourself. You know, whatever your truth is. I know what my truth is today, and I'm grateful for finally I've been done with myself, and then grace can appear, and He is mercy, has mercy today. I've been forgiven. I never knew I could be forgiven, you know. And I'm so thankful. Thanks for a great meeting, but that faith grows, stays strong. But I have to work with other people, all people. And I don't, and I let, as simple as things are, I let everything go. My armor, I came in like a newborn baby. The skin was, my emotions, it's all about emotional balance today, and I learned that here, you know. I've gotten tough skin, like an alligator, but, you know, it's great. I'm so thankful. I keep learning and growing, and it's about a heart today. You know, the heart, keep an open heart, and you win with a good heart. Win to live for another day. You know, thanks, Eddie. Wow.
My name is Matt. I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, Matt.
I'll share my experience. When I got here about 8 years ago, I started going to meetings and, you know, started doing it my way. Roll in, roll out, roll in, roll out. One of the old timers said, well, this is kind of ridiculous. You're not really going to meetings. What's going on here? Oh, I got it. Yeah, after about I'm still nasty as hell at home. I mean, really nasty. And that continued into 2-3 years sobriety, 4 years sobriety. At about 4 years sobriety, the dishonesty started to settle back, old behaviors, old ways. I'm going to meetings. Oh, yeah, I'm going to meetings. I'm shouting from the mountaintop. I think I'm helping somebody else when I'm just bossing them around. running guys to job sites and everything else, just full of crap. And I mean, a maniac. Now, the fog lifted at around 5 years, but I still stuck with the old behaviors because you know what? I understood what I was, but I absolutely would not surrender at all to any kind of develop a spiritual base. And subsequently, what happened was I continued to get nasty at home, continued to have an ego, not as bad as in frequency and duration, but if you want to verbally abuse my wife when I was angry, not be patient with my kids, still sort of shucking and jiving a little bit my whole life. And so I went to about 6.5, 7 years sober. I moved here from Jacksonville 3 months ago. And I said to my sponsor, who's about 25 years sober, I said, look, I don't get this. We come to this meeting, you've got doctors, lawyers, normal people, working a whole 9 yards. And I said, you come in, some of these guys are 18 years sober, 15, and they've lost their family in sobriety. I'm like, I don't understand this. What the heck is going on? They're coming in shaking, same time as this. You know what, sport? They're not enhancing their spiritual life. They're absolutely not doing it. They're not praying, they're not meditating, they're not surrendering. And that's the first time it sort of stuck with me, like, geez, this is what's in store for me. And I've had an experience with my wife where I finally, towards the end of this year, threw it all in spiritually. I said, I'm married 16 years, 3 kids, and she said, talk to me one more time. One more time. Like, yeah, it's over. And it sort of stuck with me, and she had to do that, and I pray that I don't do it again, and she's absolutely right. And so what I've had to do is, for me at least, not for everyone, I go to Mass every morning. I pray and meditate every day. I'm all in, and the most wonderful sense of peace and calmness has come about me just from things sort of bounce off me now. I can't explain it, I don't know. Well, she said to me a couple weeks ago, and it really hurt. She said, you got sober, I put up with all your baloney, and when you were a drunk, I stuck with you. And it's always been about me. Look what I've done for you. What have you done for me? Never giving my life completely to my family or other people, seeing others first. She said, why did you put me through all that pain for so many years? Even when you were sober, I don't get it. How can you just shut off the switch now? I said, well, I developed a spiritual base. She said, I don't know. She goes, I got to see some time. We got to see a long period of time here where this shit doesn't happen again. And so it comes to those points, and the tragedy is the elevator doesn't have to go to the bottom floor. I wish I had jumped off that thing and started to dive into the spiritual base early on. But I didn't. I had pride, ego. I don't need it. I got it. I don't have anything. I have nothing. And, it is a tragedy. And I, when this girl was talking to this gentleman, I don't know if it's male or female in this story, I didn't catch that. I thought it was too, she was the hostess. But, I don't ever want to be in a situation where I go back out because I failed to develop a spiritual base. So I go back to the drink, and she's shaking at for me it'd be a gun in my mouth. And then getting back in these rooms, oh my gosh, that'd be awful. And, you were speaking over there, gentleman with MS. Guy who's really a sponsor too in AA. He's had cancer and, this and that and the other. And his sponsor said to him, the doctors will take care of that. You come to AA, because that's going to kill you. You don't worry about the medical stuff. And just by the grace of God, you're coming here as a first priority. And, I think that this is the gift of the program to keep on the front part of my brain what is the most important thing, and that's coming here and enhancing my spiritual base, at least for me. And from my experience, if you don't do it, I'm not pointing fingers, but you're screwed. There's no other way to say it. Unfortunately, you're going to be a dry drunk. You're going to be nasty. You're going to be dishonest. You're not going to grow, and it's awful. So I'm going to keep coming back and keep trying. Thanks for letting me share.
Thanks.
I'm grateful we covered alcoholic problem members Wednesday night for group study. My name's Eddie.
Eddie.
I love that story. Because it tells me that they came to a turning point, just like in the outwork. You know, they didn't want to live that way anymore. You know, for me, this program isn't nothing but spiritual. This is based on my relationship with God, my understanding. You know, for me, 2 and 3 was the biggest steps I ever took in my life. You know, to let go, to live a better life. You know, start living a different way. You know, you know, they said in the story it talks about that. It's basically all about the third step. You know, I had a problem. I asked for help. I worked on my relationship, and I've been sold. And that's what it really comes down to. You know, I probably was one of the craziest people that came in here. You know, people still say I'm crazy now, but it's okay. What happens to a lot of people is they lose the focus. And my focus was when I came here, I just wanted not to pick up anymore. You know, I'm grateful that I wake up in the morning and I don't have to pick up. You know, everything after that is it's all about experience. Live a better life, live a life that I didn't know that was here, that I could be a part of. You know, it's the most amazing trip that I can sit and forget about yesterday. You know, in the morning and think about what my goals are for today. And I only have one goal, and that's about working on my relationship. And I can't work on my relationship without communication. You know, this program taught me how to talk to other people, you know, how to be honest with other people. And live this way, you know. And, you know, I was a very fearful person when I got here. And for the first few years, I was still fearful. But the thing about it was, is I had to get through that so I could have a different life. You know. For me, the most important thing is about working the steps with an experienced person. You know, somebody that I'm comfortable with and somebody that I can share with. You know what I mean? This is the most amazing. I've been around for a long time, over 2 decades. And it's just, sometimes I'm okay, and sometimes I feel really good. You know? But I know the reason I came here is that I couldn't stop. You know, I don't ever forget that. Every day is good for me if I don't pick up. You know, all the rest of it is just things that are going to happen and how am I going to react to it. You know, and what I've learned is I have a relationship that teaches me how to handle situations. You know, and you know what, I hated the guy that lived inside of me and came out of me. You know, and I don't have to live that way anymore. And all it was I asked for help. I did a little bit of work, and I worked on it every day. Boy, ain't that a son of a bitch. You know? There's nothing I could say, man. This program saved my life. You know? It saved me for a few more miserable life, you know? I love this program, and you know, thanks for sharing, Eddie. And you know what? If you're having a problem today, it's not a problem. It's only a situation that God puts in front of you for you to learn. You know, how to walk through things. You know, I could tell Eddie how to get through something, but the fear will still be there until Eddie goes through it by himself. You know, and that's where time comes in, where you get the experience of things. And you say, oh, God, how nice to be. You know what I mean? But I hope everybody has a good evening, and happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah, happy Valentine's Day. Hi, everybody. I'm Rochelle, and I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, Rochelle.
Talk nice and clear. Hi, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day. That's cool. It's tomorrow, right? Boy, this is a great meeting, Eddie, and thank you for jumping up there. That was for a beautiful service. The whole time you were reading the story, I'm sitting here going, did they just put that sign up there? You know, I sit in this seat all the time. Did they just put that sign up there? And I went, wow, if I say, did they just put that sign up there, everybody's going to go, no, that sign's been up there forever. But for some reason, it was glaring at me, you know, through the story, you know, but for the grace of God. And did they just put that sign up there? I mean, I don't know. I swear that sign just popped up. Because I look at all the signs all the time. You can't miss gratitude and all these other things. And I'm saying, but that sign wasn't there. And then I'm saying, but that's how much, you know, I was always out of my mind. And I'm no different. I'm really no different. The only difference is I just don't drink today, and I keep learning as time goes on. But for the grace of God, being sober, I don't ever want to sit on my laurels and think I got it. You know, I don't ever want to share if I can help it. You know, I used to be like this, and that's no longer me. I'm still me. And me could act out at any given moment. And I shared this with my sponsor, but I always share everything in the room out loud, because then there's a whole lot of ears listening, and it takes away that pride and that ego that is so false inside of me that I don't even know I have, that I don't even know when it can react. It's scary as hell, but I don't drink. I went to a picnic the other day, and there's a girl at, she doesn't like me. I know she doesn't like, you know, it's not one of those paranoid things. She really, really doesn't like me. It's an ego power trip thing. She said some things out loud in front of a lot of people to, you know, try to humiliate me. And she did this last year, and last year I let it slide. I probably was not hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. But this time, I think I was a little tired, a little lonely, and I don't know. I just ate, so maybe the food didn't hit bottom yet. And I cannot believe how I lost it. You know, listening to Melissa talk about being tough. I lost it like I used to live in Brooklyn, you know, when I carried switchblade knives around, you know. I really thought being tough was the only way to go. And as long as you were tougher than anybody else, nobody could hurt you. So I opened my mouth in front of all these people. I live amongst all these people. They still love me today, but I am so embarrassed. And I screamed at her, and I got up in her face, and I pointed my finger, and she said, are you going to hit me? And I said, I would love to. That's the only thing I didn't do, was hit her. And I kept saying, I wish I hit her. I wish ugly, like a devil just jumped into my body, and ugliness was spouting out of me, and I didn't stop. Now, I'm not drinking. And the people around me weren't even drinking. Well, I called my sponsor, and I realized, I said, you know what, I feel I need to send a letter of apology. And I had to do the letter over and over and over again. Kept saying, nope, you got to put this in, nope, you got to put... So I said, why do I got to say I'm sorry so many times? It's redundant. I said it the first time, I don't want to say it. So why can't you say it again? And I went, because my pride, it's killing me. And then I thought, wow, why is it killing me? I got 22 years in program. Why is it killing me to do what is right? Okay, so make a long story short, I'm going to type the whole meeting. I did it, and let me tell you, and the reason I'm sharing this is because I cannot explain that freedom. I let it go, unbelievable. God is so good, so good. All of a sudden, that devil jumped out, God, and I went,
wow, I'm not even embarrassed anymore. I don't even feel bad. I was having a hard time forgiving myself. I didn't give a damn about her. I told a few people and they said, did she answer you? And I said, why's she going to answer me? She's not in program. You know, this is a miracle to learn to be able to transform this person who is still in there. I hope nobody walks around thinking, you know, I got 20 years, I got it. I never got it. You know, look at how that I used to do that all the time, though. When I was younger in sobriety, what a crazy temper I had. But, so I've been good for, you know, it gets suppressed, but it's somewhere in there. I don't know where. I don't even know how it got triggered. And I kept getting asked, well, what did you learn? And I said, oh, everything. You know, I don't know what I learned. Restraint of tongue and pen, and I had to write in the thing, hopefully I will never allow my behavior to do this ever again. Will it be ever again? I don't know. You know, I don't know. But I was listening to Matthew talk about prayer, and I've been praying and meditating like crazy ever since that happened and feeling great. And I feel wonderful just being in this meeting. But you know what? I think myself, I can't speak for anybody else, like a human time bomb. You know, I came in 20 years ago, never picked up ever again, but I can be a human time bomb, and I have to watch to stay, what is it, a daily reprieve contingent on my spiritual maintenance? I have to be conscious of that at all times, that I am so not perfect. You know, I'd like to think I am, but... Okay, don't anybody agree with me. Thank you.
Thanks, Rochelle.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for your honesty.
We won't.
It hurt.
My name's Mark.
Mark.
I loved it when the blind person said, die and be damned. Those were the messages that I heard. I'm one of 14 children. 13 brothers and sisters shut their door on me. Then I went and got help. What amazes me is that you said you were doing a come to believe meeting when you came in, and I said, look, I had to come too first. You know, and that coming to believe has been, or coming to has been a process, let alone coming to believe. I'm like less and less asleep. That's really what the seventh step is showing me, that I'm less and less asleep. But I shared in here last night that there was a priest who said that Bill Wilson spoke to a group of priests about the second step. He was talking about when someone is physically sober, the thought of going and drinking again, or going and drinking again, was the insanity that he was talking about. So they talk about it in the book, you know, that chink in the thinker, you know. So I have to be. Who cares to be rigorously honest? My problem is I think I'm being honest. That's my problem. I thought I had done the steps. I thought I had brought enough humility to the table. I missed the mark. And my name is Mark. Right. So I needed help. I really needed some help. The most sane thing I could do was ask for help and follow direction. I can dig it. I was around here for a little while, and I was the mayor, and I was the governor, and I was the flower child, and I was the greeter, and I was the guy who was happy, joyous, and free, shaking everybody's hand in here. It was really glad to see you. I'm glad you're here, you know. All of that stuff. Until finally I got a sponsor who said, he said, look, it's not a mistake you don't learn from. And then I've got all the sponsors, some people who really lived the steps. And my latest sponsor, he pretty much said something after a meeting out loud
And I looked at him and he told me his opinion, I told him my opinion, and we weren't real quiet about it. So everybody's hearing this. Imagine that, I got to speak loud so everybody's hearing. He says his opinion, I say mine. He says his, I say mine. And he says his, and I said, that's your effing opinion. Out loud. And he looked at me and he said, and as long as you have that attitude, you'll stay that sick. I didn't want to hear that. I needed to hear that. God doesn't care about what I want. God cares about what I need. My disease wants me in a body bag. So, when he looked at me and he said, I'm not getting in a personality argument with you. You will do the steps with your energy, and when you get enough of a jackpot, you'll take the next step. Have a nice day. And, I came here, I was walking nerve ending, and I found out people said, oh, and by the way, there's no known cure to this. Would you like a cup of coffee with all that jingle bells you got going on there, pal? Want a cup of coffee? And I was like, because you guys knew. So, I need, want, and come to AA. AA is hopefully going to be here for generations to come, and I'm going to do my part to make sure that happens. But AA doesn't need me. You know what I'm saying? AA doesn't need me. So this thing about coming to believe that a power greater than my... And if you notice, it's not myself, it's ourselves. This illness is so cunning, baffling, and powerful, it makes me think that my thinking's okay. Okay, this is what I've learned about this illness, is that it takes we in order for me to get better. And as long as it's me and God, and I know what I'm doing, that's a problem. God, myself, and another human being. And I've proven this to myself. I've almost died many times to get that information in so that I can understand that, I have an innate ability to rationalize stuff and support it with truth. So I need your help. Now, being open and allowing that help has been getting right-sized in a second step. Because really, as I pray, God, light of my life, please grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Thy will be done, not mine. Please help me. And I mean it. And from there, I'm more open-minded, more teachable. And like the guy said over there, walking this path for a while, I get some experience, what works and what doesn't work. But when I think I know something, I'll grab a hold of Mike Young and let him know I think I know what I'm doing again. And he lets me know. Thanks for letting me share.
Thanks so much, Mark.
Hello, everybody. I'm an alcoholic, and my name is Eddie Baker. Thank God for sponsorship in the 12 Steps of Alcoholics Anonymous for saving my life and allowing me to be a free man. And I remember that cry to a God that I didn't even understand or even know. But I knew that my life had come to a point where death was becoming a welcome thought. Mm-hmm. And I felt more comfortable dying than living another day. That cry was answered because I sit here today.
That's right.
The problem is that when I got here, my first problem is with God, who just answered my cry to him. And I say, well, I can't get with this God thing, my sponsor. But you just cried out to him, and he answered your prayer. And he brings you in here. Then I said to him, well, I can't get with the spiritual part of this program. He says to me, well, you can't get with the program. Because the whole program is spiritual. And it wasn't until I became open to those things that I started to receive this grace. grace starts to happen in my life. You know, and like the young man or the young lady said in the book, I am now finding that I rode the amusement park for a long time, and I have to pay for the ride. So I have some physical stuff that I'm going through. But it's not for me. It's for the guy that walks through that door that's going to face the same difficulties that I'm facing, and I can walk him through them. Because this is not about me. It's about the guy that hasn't even walked through the door yet. He says at the end, as long as God has work for me to do, I will remain here. He's not going to remove me from here if he still has work for me. I'm a true believer and that I have a calling in life. And that's why I experienced the difficulties that I experienced through my childhood and through my young adult age in order to get here so that I can be helpful to those who are going to come in here with the same difficulties. Because I have an ego, because I'm selfish and I'm self-centered by nature, I make AA to be about me. And the truth is, it has nothing to do with me. It has to do with a loving and caring God who has spared me and given me the ability to now bring this to the table. And when I see it from that angle, I get to see how God works in my life. I don't have to question what His will is for me, what is it that I'm supposed to do. I just show up, suit up, and help the next sick and suffering person. Through that, He's given me the ability to now be a father, be a husband, have my own business. All these wonderful, graceful things He's given me. And all I had to do was just get out of the way. As simple as that. I didn't have to kind of try to think this whole thing through. You know what I mean? I would sit in my life and try to figure out, what is it that I'm supposed to do? Well, I wasted so much time trying to figure it out, it went right past me. When the truth was, it was right in front of me all the whole time. So again, I truly believe in grace. I didn't get here by mistake. I got here because a loving and caring God brought me into the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous and says, you take care of my children, and I will take care of you. And that's all I do. Whenever He presents me with another one of His children, I show up. I don't turn away from them and say, I'm not messing with that one. Says, whatever it is you need me to do, let's do it. And through that, I get to be restored to sanity. Because again, I'm not much, but I'm all I think about. As long as I'm in that frame of mind, I'm asking for the next drink to come through. It's when I get out of self, by helping others, not just here, but anywhere, that God allows me to be. It's what gives me the grace that I have today. Thanks for letting me share.
Thanks, Eddie.
It's got to be real quick.
I'm a burning desire.
Oh, okay.
I'm an alcoholic. My name's Joy.
Hey, Joy.
Sorry I was late. However, I know that, being the second month, it's the second step, and I've been to several meetings where we've discussed this. And I walked in at a time when this fellow was sharing about how he was talking to his wife and how she gave him the ultimatum. And then I listened to Michelle, about the way that she was getting along with someone. And what I thought about and what I mentioned the other day, and it's still coming to me, I guess God wants me to keep thinking about it, is that I came to believe. I didn't believe immediately. I knew I had no problem with God. My problem was thinking that I was not insane, that I really didn't have a problem and I really didn't belong here. But long story short, I realized that, hitting my husband was not normal behavior. When he came home, we'd have an argument, he'd disappear, and he'd come in 4 or 5 hours later, and I would just start swinging. I didn't know this was abandonment issues, but after 5 years of that, he was ready to leave. And my behavior changed because he gave me an ultimatum, and my behavior changed. Where like when Michelle was talking about how people talk to her, I took that kind of treatment from my mother for many, many years, that aggressive, angry way of talking to me. And what I had to learn was that when somebody doesn't like me and says something mean about me or something, I can speak to them in such a manner where it's okay. I don't have to scream and yell at them, but I can let them know how I feel, because God doesn't want me to be a doormat. He didn't want me to be one for my mom, but I couldn't express my feelings, but I've learned how to express my feelings in here. But it's not because it just happened and I became sane. It was because I was doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, and then when I decided that I wasn't going to do that anymore and did things differently, then God started rewarding me by helping me have self-esteem. And that's what, to me, that's what the second step is. It's about hope, the principle behind it, which is hope. And I have hope today because I don't have those kind of relationships. And I can tell you how I feel without going off the deep end. Thanks.
Thank you,
Jordan. Thank you.
If you haven't had a chance to share, please talk to someone after the meeting. Will somebody please read the 9th step on this?
How about alcoholic named Julie?
Hi, Julie.
Promises of the 9th step. We're painstaking about this phase of our development. We will be amazed before we're halfway through. We're going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. We will not regret the past nor wish to set before it. We will comprehend the word serenity and we will know peace. No matter how far down the scale we've gone, we'll see how our experience can benefit others. That feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. Self-seeking will slip away. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. Fear of people and of economic insecurity will leave us. We will intuitively know how to handle situations we used to battle. We will suddenly realize that God is doing for us what we cannot do for ourselves. Are these extravagant promises?
No.
They're being fulfilled among us, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. They will always materialize as we work for them.
Everybody get cleaned up after themselves. We won't need to do it here. And somebody wants to do Jim?
My name's Mark.
Hey, Mark.
I'm powerless over alcohol. White chip.
Hey, Mark.
International sign of surrender. Who wants to give a fight? Red chip, silver chip is 38. Right here.
All right. Don't kiss him.
There ain't no chipping, man. Sit down. You got one? Let me see it. Red chip. No, what is it now? Yellow chip? Yellow chip. Yellow chip. 60 days. Please, Mike. Yeah. These are silver chip down with their lives. Rough on the outside, smooth in the middle, just like AA. Anybody got 90 days? This here is blue chip. Rough on the outside, smooth in the middle, just like AA. 6 months. This here chip, smooth. 9 months. Okay. If you haven't had a drink, thank God.
And then maybe the spiritual foundation of God, reminding us of the principles of being more personality.
Tom,
Yes, Rochelle.
do you think that I can make an announcement next time about somebody cleaning that plant in there?
Cleaning the
All
what?
they need to do is put that plant out in the rain and let it get watered on it. Got dust on it. That's it.
Yeah, we did.
It needs water?
No, it's fake, the plant.
Oh. What do you want? Oh, you want to clean?
That side, let it rain on it. Can that be done?
That
I'll
probably
take
do.
you in there to look at it.
Can we have a moment of silence for the still sick and suffering inside and outside of these rooms, followed by the Lord's Prayer? Who gave us life this morning?
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Keep it back. It works if you work. Work if you work when you're doing.
So yeah, it should be okay to do that.
I was really sick for a while. I had different things. I had flu, palsy, one side
probably even do it. Yeah.
All it got to do is that an opening out there to the sky?
There is openings out there. There's a water hose out there.
You got a hose out there?
There's a hose and spray.
Where's the hose?
It's out there somewhere. I don't know. Have some more. Finish them off.
When I was in the VA hospital for 5 months, I was in the psych ward. I mean, 5 month psych.
Okay.
Okay.
Good night, you guys.
Good night, Ken. I helped. He was in the nursing home in the hospital.
Who was?
This man.
Okay.
He was an officer, and he had MS, and his whole body was twisted. He could not use his arms or legs.
He must have had more than one attack because I caught mine on the first attack, and I haven't had another one since.
This guy was like about 72 years old.
No, it would probably affect him harder.
And then I used to go to Boca Pines.
Yeah, I did too.
Well, I forgot his name, but he ended up in a motorized wheelchair, and he's starting to twist.
I heard about him. Yeah, he died.
Yes, he did. Younger than you.
He had progressive
MS, and it just kept going and going. I saw him from walking
to nothing.
to nothing. And the mind was so good. Too bad it couldn't be transplanted.
Yeah, maybe I got it. Yeah.
I don't think
I have a good mind. I'm sober. And
they all have that. I've noticed. All MS has always had the mind. The body disappeared on them. They still had the mind.
it's multiple I have multiple scars on my brain. I think I have 4 big scars, and they block my brain from working. It just takes a little while for my brain to learn how to work around it.
Yeah, it's just like being a dyslexia.
Yeah.
Now, I would even doubt it comes later in life with MS, dyslexia.
What is it? Dyslexia?
Dyslexia is...
I heard about that. I think I already got it.
You read upside down.
Yeah. See things backwards.
I can do it all ways. I can read upside down, sideways, you name it. I can read it if I can see it.
Hey, I can learn how to do it.
I grew up with basically 2 alphabets, Hebrew and American English.
What was the first one?
Hebrew.
Hebrew. Oh, okay.
And Aramaic, which is an earlier version of it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then I lived in Israel.
You lived in Israel?
Yep.
Cool.
And this was I left 10 days before the October War in 1973. I went to the...
Wow, 1973 was a good year.
I went to the Oktoberfest. And I stayed in Germany for over a year working at the hotel by Richerheim.
Cool.
Yeah, it was cool. All of us were foreigners. It was mainly American and Canadians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would have been nice for me to be there, but I was like 6 years old. 7 years old.
Where, in 73 for you?
73.
I
was born in
graduated high school in 68.
You what?
I graduated high school in 68 at 17.
Yeah. I was 2 years old when you graduated.
Wow.
You're a little bit older than I am.
I'm 62.
Oh, you're not that old. My wife's 55. I'm 46.
Keep yourself well. You've got a long life.
Yeah, I keep coming back here and taking my meds.
I didn't smoke for about 3 or 4 years.
Oh, you smoke now? Yeah, I quit about 7 years ago.
Reason being, when I started, I had 2 operations on my spine. One in the lower and one at the neck and shoulders. I got titanium constructs in those areas.
That was back in '83. Oh, you got the same one. Yeah, but I also broke it again in '01, and they went in through here and slapped the patch in there too.
He was going to go, but it would have been 2 operations. One cracking my sternum open and cutting my collarbone.
Oh, damn. You're lucky to be alive.
Well,
I mean, with that kind of operation.
I used to walk around like this all the time.
Well, you're not, are you?
No. I'm just I'm getting my muscles back to as normal as possible. I go to my pain management doctor. Either he shoots me up with sugar.
Sugar?
Water and sugar, or cortisone.
Cortisone. Yeah, I would prefer the cortisone, they do.
Well, last time I was there, had shots in my lower back, my right hip, my thumbs,
He used to be the mayor.
and my neck.
You can have as many as you want. They're really good. I took most of the green ones, but you can have any of them.
You gotta wipe this up here.
Oh, did I do that?
Yep.
I'll be damned. Well, let me clean that up real quick.
Oh yeah.
Good to see you. Okay, bye.
Hey, it's really good talking to you. You're going to be here
Hey, how are you, dear?
Pretty good.
Good, hanging in there, honey. Hey, what's up?
More freedom now?
Hi, darling.
Hey, dog.
Look at that pretty dress. Let me stand up and roll around, little ballerina. I like it. It's darling.
How fast?
No, honey, shorter the better. What? There's nothing wrong with that. As long as we have pantaloons on. I mean, pants. Come on, let me see. Bend down and bend down and touch your toes. We'll show you.
Yeah, turn around.
Good, good.
I love it. It's very nice.
Hey, it was nice meeting you and talking to you. I've seen you before.
Yeah, I know. I've been around for 8.5 years now.
Okay.
I was at happy hour the first 4 or 5 years.
Okay. Well, I'll see you around. I'm going to go home. My wife wants me.
And would you believe the first meetings I went to was right here, bottom line, over on Sam.
Oh, I probably saw you when you got here. Well, hi, how are you? Oh, I know you.
How are you?
You look good.
Thank you.
I'm good. How are things going?
Same old, which I gotta be careful because routine is dangerous.
What do you mean?
Meaning, like, I get caught up in a routine life and shit, and, you know, it's not good. I gotta stay
Doing the same thing
stay
over and
alert.
over?
Yeah, like work, dog, eat, sleep. Work, dog, eat, sleep.
That sounds so simple.
It is very simple, but very, well, we all are, but I'm very...
You want more.
No, I'm consumed in routine, and that's not that good for me.
Okay.
I spice it up with meetings and stuff. We'll see how this works. I got this for Christmas. My dad got it for me. And I have to take my case off. And I don't know how to what to Warren asked me to tonight. Just tonight.
Take care. I'll see you later.
Good. I spoke. Good. Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Adam. How's it going?
Good.
Good. Hello, sis. How are you? Oh, I'm very good. I just got out of a meeting, and I saw that you texted me. Or did maybe you left a message on Facebook. I just got it today.